Let's jump right into it. This is going to be a breakdown of my Scorpina costume. If you guys have not followed my page or my progress on this costume, that's okay. I'm going to run you guys through every kind of step of it, put a few pictures and stuff up and things like that for you guys to see if you have not seen the work in progress stuff that I was posting as I was making this costume. If you don't know who Scorpina is, educate yourself first off. Second, the Porch Geek is going to kick your butt. And third, she's amazing. Okay. Okay, so educate yourself. Anyways, Scorpina is a villain from Power Rangers. I believe, oh my god, Porch Geek's gonna get so mad at me if I get this wrong. I believe she's in season 1, episode 15? I'm probably wrong on that one. I watched it so many times, but it's been a while and I'm probably wrong. And I'm sorry, don't hurt me. But anyways, she's an extreme character, and this costume I blame 110% on the Porch Geek. It is his fault I made it. He is the reason I made it. And he didn't really give me much of an option. He kind of said, hey, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna be Scorpina. And I was like, yeah, I am. I kind of jumped in on the hardest parts first, I would have to say, and with that I actually tackled her weapon first, which I know that's not really a hard part. It actually might look pretty simple. So it's like her little boomerang thing. If you guys notice, I actually didn't paint the black detail on this side like I did on this side. I may add that later. It's not necessary, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's actually quite big, so I'm short. It's about the size, if I sit on my lap, it's about to my nose. So it's pretty big. This is made out of pink foam. I did not have my hot wire tool to make this, and oh my god, you guys, it took me forever. I was sitting there. This stuff starts off this thick. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's this thick, so it's about like that thick when you start. And I carved all of this out down to being this thin with a box cutter or X-Acto knife, whatever you call it. My house was covered in pink foam. It was chaotic. I didn't like it. And then of course you have to sand it down to make it smooth, which I didn't really know I had to do, so I didn't do that step. That's okay. Then I covered it with black Warbler. After that, I used acrylic paints. Actually, I spray painted it first with the silver that I found, and then I used acrylic paints for all these details and things like that. Anyways, so that's kind of the breakdown of her weapon, which I thought is really cool. Alright, so the second piece that I decided to tackle, because the weapon I thought was going to be complicated because I had never worked with one black Warbler before, two pink foam, because I mean, you know, you build a new cosplay, why not jump in and use materials you've never used before? It seems legit. Anyways, I decided to stick to a material that I knew, had worked with quite a few times and didn't have complications with. The reason for this was because it's her helmet. Her helmet is intense. I will post pictures on here somewhere of what her helmet looks like. That in itself, I only found one good reference picture, where it's like a full body shot side by side of her front and then of her back. So I kind of played off of that. So in the end, my helmet turned out to be like this. I think it turned out really cute. I don't know if I can put it on. I have a clip in my hair, but let's see. No, I can't. Alright, let's just let the hair down. Alright, so yeah. So there you go. So this is my Scorpina helmet. I do wear my Wonder Woman wig actually under this, so it gives it a little bit more, I don't know, it makes it fuller because she actually has long hair as well. This helmet is not padded on the inside. This is actually how it started, which is just a layer of craft foam and then your Warbler on top of it. I used Kamuli's pattern book for this helmet pattern. I didn't like the way that it worked. Maybe it's because I've never, this is like the second actual Warbler helmet I've made. No wait, it's It's actually the first because my shredder's all foam and I made a Loki helmet for commission and that's all foam as well. So this is actually my very first Warbler helmet. So, I mean, take it or leave it. It looks actually quite decent. And then what I did was on these pieces here are actually EVA foam that I made the template out of paper first. Put it on the foam, traced it out, and then carved it down with my knife as well as a Dremel. And then I made these little indents and stuff in here, so when I covered it with Warbler, they would actually pop out a little bit more. Same thing with this part here. This is all EVA. This is just the helmet itself base, but this is the thickness of the foam. So, I mean, it is quite thick to try and give it more of the shape of her helmet. You can actually see a little bit here, the EVA foam, because it's not fully covered in. So that's kind of the rundown of her helmet. Next, I will show you a little bit of her armor. All right? Cool. So the next pieces I'm going to show you is, okay, I was working from top to bottom with my helmet and stuff, but I'm probably just going to grab whatever is in the bin and then I'll show it to you guys and then go from there. So let's do bigger pieces. So this is actually one of my calf pieces. This is really cool. I've never had to make like a knee part because this part actually goes on top of my knee. She does have two of these, so I had to make like mirror imaging. So what it is again is I do have work in progress pictures of this. I will probably post them. It is just craft foam and this is actually a different product. My first time working with it. It's not an easy product to work with. I kind of, once I got to the end of my armor, I figured out a little bit of tricks with it, but I think I would never use it again as a full armor build. I would definitely use it as detailing because it does amazing details and you can't go wrong. But it's actually Thibra. So it's another thermoplastic. It's gray and you heat it up and if you heat it up too much, it becomes like gum. Okay, so it's a little bit complicated to work with. It does show your fingerprints and everything like that. I started learning how to avoid that later on in my build, so some of them still do have prints, but I mean, all in all, they're pretty decent. These gems are actually made out of Cosplay Flex. I never knew that you could actually do that until the amazing owner of Just Because Cosplay Supplies let me know that that's a possibility, and it saved my life. It was inexpensive. I still have a crap ton of the sheet because I just bought like a small sheet, one of the very small sheets from them, and I only needed 5 gems. So I actually have a ton of it left to use for something else. So this is my my bracer. I used elastics. I've never done this before. It's my first time, so it's actually just hot glued elastics on the inner foam part of my armor. It worked great. I mean, honestly, it's a little tight to get on and off, but I wanted that. I wanted something that's not going to slip, shift, or move on me, so that's epic. Let's see what the next piece is here. Okay, so this one. Oops. Hopefully it's fine. Alright, so this is the next piece here. You can see this little, where is it? This piece right here is a little wear and tear because this one actually goes with this one, which looks crazy. It looks like Bowser's shell. Like, it looks really intense. These two actually sit like this. So from the rubbing and everything else, it's kind of got a little bit of damage. You need to expect that. You can only do so much when it comes to keeping your paint pristine. Yes, I do seal my paint. Yes, I do all of that jazz, but still from the rubbing and stuff, you just get wear and tear. So it's easy to patch up, no big deal. This again is attached with elastics and it slides right up. It sits right on my forearm. So that's really cool. Here's another one that goes actually on my opposite hand. She has a full arm of armor, and then on this one, she just has a cuff. She actually has a band that goes here too, which I didn't get a chance to make, but then again, I have like big, huge arms, so I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a band that'll stay without cutting my circulation off. But this is Cosplay Flex as well for this gem, which is pretty cool, and I really, really like that. Then there's this part. These are my boob cups. Yeah, they're very small. They don't even cover up to the sides of anything. Like, they're very, very tiny. But I figured because I have so much armor, I don't want to be smashing them off all the time. And they are just held with Velcro. So, I mean, I could end up damaging them and shooting them off and shooting my boobs at people, and I don't think people would appreciate that one very much. Probably not at all. Okay, so another piece is my thigh, which is pretty basic. I mean, there's not much to go over there. It's actually held up with elastics, but I Velcro. Okay, so I put Velcro on here, and I put Velcro on my calf pieces, and then I attached Velcro onto my leggings. So when I put the armor on, I was not only relying on the straps, as I hit myself in the face, on the straps, but I was relying on the Velcro to keep them where they needed to be, which it actually worked quite well. I was quite impressed with it. The last one is really, I think it's my favorite piece out of this armor, not because of the piece itself, but because I've never achieved this ever. And it's not an easy task. Yes, it does need a little bit of tweaking to be perfect. After I've worn it, I kind of figured out my little dilemmas and things that simple minor fixes. It's going to take me maybe 5 minutes once I actually sit down to do it. But the part I'm talking about is the hand. This scared me. Like, this was intimidating, and I don't get intimidated by much. But the hand armor was quite intimidating. It looks like a big pile when I fold it like this, but let's see if I can make it a little bit better for you guys. The gloves obviously still there. But yeah, so this is kind of what the armor looks like. You put it on, and these are your finger parts, obviously. I tried it a couple different ways. These ones, I listened to the Portuguese, I did, but at the same time, I kind of made it my own way too. He's very talented, you guys. He's done an Iron Man hand, and it's amazing, and he makes great Tony Stark. So, I mean, I should have probably listened to him a little bit better, but I'm a rebel. Who wants to listen to him? But anyways, the fingers are actually foam, so they are flexible. They do need to be cut down a little bit because I find that they're still too bulky, as well as they are hot glued. There's a string in them. You can see it's purple foam. There's actually a string that's hot glued down to them to make them attached to this base. This base is Thibra. I have also attached Velcro to my glove, to my Thibra palm, so that it would actually stay on top without having to worry about shifting or sliding or rotating where I didn't want it to rotate. I do have a thumb piece as well. This is hot glued right onto the glove, and then the string is attached right to it because this one doesn't move, shift, or anything like that, and I don't need to remove it. It's a single thing, and it's not attached to this main base. This base also does have a elastic on it to help secure it in case my Velcro let go, but it's industrial Velcro, so chances are it's not going to. But it's always good to have a little bit of backup just in case, because I am very klutzy, and chances are I'd be that person to be like, hey, and my glove would go flying, and like this would stab somebody in the eye or something silly. But on the plus note, I can't hurt myself with this. I cannot hurt myself because I can't lift it up. So I have like this range of motion. So my arm's like this, I can lift it to about here. That's about it. I can't go above my head, I can't nothing. So it limits my range of motion, so I can't hurt myself. So that's a bonus. Okay, so the last piece of this costume, I know, I'm sorry guys, this took me a little bit. I didn't think I talked this much, which is a lie because I talk a lot. So I'm very proud of myself. I'd like to give a huge shout out to one of my good friends, the Portuguese. You guys have heard me talk about him quite a bit. I have done a video with him as well as had him featured on my page a couple of times. Great guy, absolutely adore him. Then there's his wife, who is a geeky realtor. And then my other two favorite people, which is the Dust Bunny and the Edmonton Ninja Turtle. I will be posting some pictures of what our group looked like in the end. I don't have that many group shots, but I do have some of the individuals of them, as well as our buddy Batman, who dressed up as our Blue Ranger. So he doesn't have his own Facebook page, but everybody else's will be linked below the video. I hope you guys like this. I know it's a little bit long-winded. I will probably run through a couple more of my costumes. If there's anyone that you guys really want to see, please let me know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and have a great day, guys. Bye.